What's going on, guys? It's your boy Nation back again with another video, and today for you guys we have cops discover an evil husband's house of horror. Okay, this is a Dr. Insanity video, aka crime time. We about to get right into this, man. I know what you guys are gonna say. Seem, what happened? Bro, literally I've been so busy and stuff like that, I haven't had time to even get a chance to record. But I'm not gonna lie, some of it was my fault. I could have took the time to record. So I'm back on track now. So yeah, let's get right to the video. This footage has never been released to the public. What?
911, what's your emergency?
Yeah, I seen that. Viewer discretion is advised. I always put a warning at the start of my videos when I watch videos like this anyway, if you guys don't want to watch anything like this, but a lot of people do, so.
Hey,
I'm a bus driver and one of my students just passed me a note that says his mother needs help and that his dad is hurting her.
okay, do you have an address?
Yeah, they live on, it's the first house when you turn into the neighborhood.
Okay, officers are being dispatched now. Can you stay with the child until law enforcement arrives?
Yeah, so I'm just parked outside the neighborhood. I'll stay here.
This is what the Las Cruces Police Department were informed of on April 23rd, 2021. Just the night before, Veronica had endured 12 hours of what could only be described as a living hell, all because of her abusive boyfriend, Eric Alvarado. At this point, fearing for her and her children's life, the main thing on her mind was to call the police. But Eric had confiscated her phone and refused to let her leave his sight. However, Eric and Veronica's son still had to go to school. This gave Veronica an idea that would save her and her family's life.
Ho, here we go, man. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I miss making these videos.
Can you explain to me what's going on today?
Last night he was shaking me a lot
He was shaking you?
and stuff with the pillows.
Okay.
He picked me up. He got my head against the cabinet.
Oh my
On
gosh.
top of here. And then my kids were screaming and crying. And he said that he was either I die or he's gonna have a shot with you guys.
Veronica is clearly distressed and just thankful that the cops are here to save her. In fear of her life, she wrote a note behind Eric's back saying that she was in danger and to call 911. She passed this note to her kids in hopes someone from their school would call the police. The note was given to a bus driver who immediately called the Las Cruces Police Department. The cops need to know exactly what happened. Veronica just told them that Eric would have a shootout with the cops if they came, so they know they're dealing with someone either dangerous or delusional, something they would quickly find out.
Were you trying to get away from him, or what happened?
I just started doing whatever he asked me. He would even tell me to follow him to the bathroom when he needed the bathroom. He would make me pick up the seat for him.
Okay.
What's
He
the...
said, "Are you gonna let me?" And then I was just like, "Well, neither." And then, but I was crying for my mom because he really think I would do that.
He didn't try to get out, and he didn't forcefully try to keep you
I
from
was
leaving or
like,
anything like
I've tried before, and it never works. So I just stayed quietly and I stayed up on the bed. I rolled like to try to get away, and he would just pull me closer and hug me.
that? Okay.
But I didn't have a phone to call you guys, so I just.
Yo,
only-
life
What happened
sentence
to your
for people
phone?
like this, honestly.
has it.
Life sentence, because they're never going to change. Life sentence, I don't care.
Okay, so the marks on your face, is that from him, or? And not from him? Okay.
Yo,
Listen to exactly
she not even, bro, that's crazy, because she don't even look like she deserved, like she looks like a good mother. That's
what Veronica is saying. It's obvious that this isn't just a one-time thing. She's using phrases like, "I've tried before and it never works," implying that she'd almost given up trying to escape him. This is known as learned helplessness, a condition where an abused person starts to believe that they're powerless to save themselves because of the repeated abuse and perceived lack of control. Unfortunately, it's more common than you might think. On average, it takes 7 tries for a victim to escape their abuser, and every single one one of these failed attempts would start to make them feel more and more powerless, as though control of their life is slowly slipping away. Given that Veronica has a 5-year-old son with Eric, the abuse might have been going on for years, with her essentially resigning her fate to his violence and manipulation. If that's the case, then her son's actions should be even more celebrated, finally freeing his own mother from a relentless cycle of abuse.
Can you explain to me what happened first yesterday?
We were arguing. He was just more
Honestly,
frustrated
W
because he
son.
yelled at the kids,
W
and then
son.
he started to get upset with me. He got upset because I didn't cook. Grabbed himself something to eat, and he told me to cook garbage and give it to him, but it's because I had the baby in the bed and I laid it down. She was getting upset every time I walked out.
Okay.
And then so I came in here all mad talking shit, and
Okay.
I was right there by the microwave, and I slammed it to close it because he had his food in there. I was gonna heat it up, and he told me to shut up, and then he got up and pulled me from my hair and pushed my head toward the cabinet in my head, like went like that, and that's why it's swollen right here. Went like that, and my eyebrow hit right here.
Veronica continued to tell the officer about that night's abuse, how he choked her, threw her around, and grabbed hold of her so hard that she couldn't force his hand away to save herself.
Yeah, I was holding onto his arm, but he lifted me up because he's so strong. He lifted me up and he slammed me on the counter. My kids were crying at the same time. My oldest son came out.
What did you feel when he grabbed your neck?
I don't know, like I was like trying to fight to get it off, and then all of a sudden, like my body just started feeling weak.
Feeling weak?
Yeah, and I felt like I was underwater and I couldn't breathe. And I was just like trying to calm him down, like, oh baby, I love you, please stop, this is not. But I was just like, because I already know how he is.
Directly after being choked almost to death, she's still pleading with him and telling him that she loves him. Obviously, it can't be discounted that this was
Don't
just
care.
an act to get him to stop.
He
But
don't
again,
care.
this is a very common reaction. Eric has likely used either love bombing or intermittent reinforcement to manipulate Veronica. Love bombing involves initially showering the victim with affection and attention, forming attachment quickly. And intermittent reinforcement involves quickly alternating between kindness and cruelty. Both of these create a powerful emotional bond and dependency on the abuser, making it much harder to leave, despite making her feel like this.
You're talking about, are you scared to die? And I'm like, yes. He's like, how does it feel? Because you almost died. And I was just like,
Okay.
if it just hurts, it's painful. He's like, why are you
What
scared to
is,
die?
yeah, he's
And then
mental.
I said, because
Like, he's
my
the
kid-
max mental.
But the last little piece of information the cops get might just be the most important one, and unravel why tonight's abuse got so out of hand.
From PTSD,
Okay.
depression.
And he hasn't took his medication either.
Oh,
Bipolar depression and
Yes, he has a lot. It takes so much help. He has anxiety, bipolar.
oh yeah, he has a lot of stuff wrong with
off
him.
was the whole him not
And he
having
hasn't
food
been
ready
taking
and
his
all that.
pills.
No, it was the kids who was yelling at my son.
Okay.
And that if anything gets him upset, he gets really, really upset.
Apparently, Eric suffers from PTSD, depression, anxiety, and bipolar. He's supposed to take a litany of meds to keep him stable, but that night, he hadn't taken any of them. Of course, this isn't an excuse for his behavior, nor is it to be assumed that many bipolar people would ever act in this manner, but it could be a possible explanation for the severe and continued abuse.
How long have you been with him?
On and off for 7 years. There's a
Dang,
time when he
7
sent me to the
years?
hospital, but I didn't first try.
So you
I
never.
felt bad because he always calls me. He's just like, I'm sorry.
Yo, here's what I don't get in these situations with these girls, because this happens a lot in movies too. Why do y'all just stick around with that instead of just... I mean, I get it, like he said, it's hard for them to, like, it takes them 7 times to finally break and get free. But I honestly feel like you should be able to go to the police and they should be able to help you. It's not like he's going to be on you 24/7. You have time, like, just whenever he send you out on a run or something, go to the police station.
I'm a sick man.
Has he ever been charged with domestic or anything like that? He has? In Las Cruces? or New Mexico?
With his ex-girlfriend.
He been
but not
doing
with
this
you.
to us?
Yeah.
Are
A
you
lot of
serious?
times I dropped the charges because I feel bad.
No.
Eric is clearly dangerous and needs to be locked up, but that all depends on if Veronica is going to press charges this time or let herself be manipulated out of it again. But before she can even make that decision, the other cop comes into the room and lets them know that they need EMTs on the scene immediately.
When you were standing up and you started, I don't know if he was showing.
He need his medicine, bro.
Is that normal for
Does
him?
he have,
He gets like that when he's really upset.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not acting in an angry way. He does that, and sometimes like he'll fall on me, and like I can't pick him
Oh,
up.
okay.
so panic attacks are normal for him?
He's been out in a week.
She says he has knives in the drawer, so.
It seems as though Eric has had a panic attack and needs help from a medic. The thing is, the cops can't be sure if this is a genuine reaction or another way to try and guilt and manipulate Veronica, but either way, they get the fire department on the scene to check him out.
Do you need to go to the hospital, boys?
He's wanting to go.
Oh, he's wanting to go? What do you think?
I think he's faking it. It don't look like he's actually.
That's about it. His oxygen's good right now. It's at 98%. Heart rate's fine. A little elevated at 98, but it's nothing crazy.
Do you take your medications for PTSD and the depression?
No what?
Do you take medications for it?
Yes.
Are you current on your medications? So we always recommend heading up to the hospital, especially because he has like PTSD, bipolar depression.
Medically, everything seems fine with Eric, but they still decide to take him to the hospital temporarily at his
not let him
request.
get away.
In the meantime, Veronica is now curious about the rest of the process and has made a decision on if she's going to press charges.
Please say yes.
He bonds himself out.
Okay.
And he told me that I'm starting to remember a little bit. It's like, I didn't think I'm gonna be that long in fucking jail. I get bonded out real fucking quick.
So I know you said you want a restraining order, so we'll work on getting that. Usually it's going to be an emergency restraining order.
Would I be able to press charges on him?
So in situations like this, it's up to the state to pursue charges. So usually
What
we go
you
through with, no
mean?
matter if we have charges, we're gonna go through with the charges whether you want to or not.
I should have pressed charges when I couldn't even open my eyes.
Emergency
wanna say that?
restraining orders are common in cases of domestic violence, especially
a restraining
where
order
there's
is going to
children
help a lot,
involved.
though.
Courts are often available 24/7 for the filing of these, and in open and shut cases like these,
She need to
they'll
be able to
usually
press
get
charges,
approved on the
too.
same
That's
day.
what changed
That
her
means
whole
that
life.
Eric physically won't be allowed near Veronica, her kids, and likely their home unless he goes through a rigorous legal procedure. But it turns out that might not even matter, as it looks like he's heading straight to jail.
It is going to be
go.
a 48 for him. He's going to be cleared already.
As long as he's clear, he should be fine then. It's gonna bring me the ERO.
Hey, can I get a district court judge for the ERO?
From this point, the officer fills out the restraining order and takes care of some other paperwork and investigation around the house. But the day isn't over for Eric yet. Far from it. He was taken to the hospital, but as the officer figured, he was discharged almost as soon as he got there. That meant that it was his turn in the spotlight, and he was handed over to the police, who were going to make sure that he got exactly what he deserved.
Stand up, face me. Turn around for this officer. Turn around for him, bro.
Yeah, he's trying to try something slick. But also he is like stressing. But they said he was fine.
Alright, but before we take you in, alright, you're gonna be placed under arrest, okay? CID is the one that are gonna take you the charges. Unfortunately, I don't know them. But you are gonna be served a
Emergency restraining order. I would suggest not contacting her, writing her, going
None
to
of
the
that.
house, none of that.
As the officer mentioned, the case was handed over to CID, or the Criminal Investigation Division. In even simpler terms, the detectives. Usually a case is passed over the CID if the crimes were particularly severe, or if it requires the specific resources or skills the CID have. In this case, it's very likely the chronic abuse and psychological manipulation that warranted their intervention. As to truly unpack what happened here, it would require an expert to dig deep and use their skills to figure everything out. That's why less than an hour after he was released from the hospital, he was sat face to face with a detective that was about to grill him for his side of the story. Unfortunately, Eric didn't exactly make that easy, and it ended with him back in handcuffs and on his way to a cell.
Eric, Detective Bardo with the Las Cruces Police Department. How you doing? What happened last night? Okay, so you're here for a reason? And I'm here with you for a reason, and that's to get your side story. If you're gonna tell me nothing, I'm gonna go ahead and leave and proceed my investigation. So right now, this is your chance.
What am I being charged with?
What do you mean? Everything.
I'm not there yet.
Don't act stupid.
But I'm in an investigation. I'm investigating you.
I don't feel good, man.
Okay.
I want to go.
All right. I'm gonna take you back to the holding cell, okay? So the last thing that
he's
I need
not
to do
playing
is
with
get
him.
your side of the story. Since you're not gonna give that to me, I'm gonna go ahead and charge you with 3 counts of aggravated battery on a household member.
Yeah.
2 of them are strangulation. The other one's gonna be suffocation. Or 2 of them is suffocation. One's gonna be strangulation. Battery on a household member, and also deprivation of property to a household member. 3 of the 5 are gonna be felonies. Okay?
What? Why are they felonies? What did I do that?
3 felonies.
Why?
Do you want to talk to me about it?
But like, what did I do? What did you say?
I don't
What
know,
did
you were
say?
there.
Say it. I didn't.
You were there
I didn't do
last
nothing. I didn't do nothing, bro.
Okay.
I did nothing to
Then
her.
stay with that. Stay with that story.
I want to know what the.
I'm not gonna
felonies
tell you
are.
anything because you don't want to tell me anything.
As it turned out, Eric would only be charged with 2 counts of aggravated battery of a household member, 1 count of battery against a household member, and deprivation of property. And with Eric safely in cuffs
An
and
attempted
in a
murder.
holding cell, the police
what?
had only one more job to do to put Veronica's mind at ease.
Hello?
May I speak to Veronica, please?
This is her. Yes?
Okay, just real quick, I wanted to let you know that I'm gonna go ahead and charge Eric. He's gonna have 3 felonies, which is gonna be aggravated battery on a household member. 2 of them are strangulation. One's gonna be strangulation.
She
The other
already
one's
sound
gonna
like
be
she's
battery,
happy.
on a household member, and the other one's deprivation of property of a household member. So another thing, I'm asking the officer to call a Sky Report to CYFD. Because of what he exposed the children to. They'll probably just reach out to you, ask to see the conditions of the house, make sure that they're suitable for the children.
I know because of what happened, but then at the same time, I don't know how to say this. I accept what you're doing, but there won't be any way he can see his kids.
Bro.
There will be, but it's
going to be a
in different
process.
terms now. The way you guys had it, it obviously didn't work because look what he's exposing the children to.
As of July 2024, Eric Alvarado is still awaiting sentencing and is being held without bond. However, based on his charges and history, it's estimated he'll likely spend up to 8 years behind bars. With intervention and checks by CPS, the children will also receive treatment and care for any trauma or abuse caused by their father, and
Good.
Veronica will finally be free of the horrific treatment caused by her evil husband. And remember, none of this would have happened if not for what
Yeah.
Veronica's 5-year-old son did that morning, being
That's
brave
crazy.
and strong enough to reach out to save his mom, changing his whole family's lives in one heartwarming and heroic move.
Honestly, clap it up. Clap it up for the cops because that was outstanding. The detective literally came in and he was not joking with him at all. Like, if you don't want to talk to me, you don't have to. I'm just going to continue my investigation to get you booked. And that's exactly what he did. So, hey man, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe if you are new. If this is your first time clicking on the channel or the video, just like, subscribe, and yeah, we out. Peace.